What up, gamers? We have some fresh competitive TFT drama hot off the presses from the most recent tournament, the Heartsteel Cup, which is ongoing this weekend. We actually have some like pretty big stuff kind of happened in this tournament. So Ashmu made a great article on competitive TFT. I'll link this below if you guys want to know everything about the situation, but I will just give the cliff notes here. So Sphinx, who is a longtime competitive player, you know, not somebody who typically performs super well in a tournament, but a player, if you play in high elo, you know of Sphinx. We follow each other on Twitter and that sort of thing. Sphinx intentionally griefed Groxie, another competitive player. While Sphinx was not in contention for advancing for day 2, Groxie was still in contention, and Sphinx griefed Groxie because he lost his raise the stake Heartsteel on stage 2, was going for a 5 loss and then lost it. So, and then after that, Sphinx intentionally pivoted into Groxie's comp, which was Executioners, from a terrible spot. It was like an obvious target grief. It wasn't a situation where a player made a mistake. It was an obvious target grief, and we have the evidence here. It's pretty damning. So look over here, and Sphinx won't deny this either. So Sphinx says, last game of the set, I'll buy Executioners, LOL. He said that in chat because he lost his Heartsteel cash out, and here is the Heartsteel cash out here. He's going for a raise the stakes on stage 2. He already has 5 Heartsteel, you see, very high roll position, built a Heartsteel emblem. So this guy has a great winning position here, Sphinx does. And just check out what happens here. So he ends up fighting Groxie, who has the Executioner augment, so he cannot possibly play anything else. And then he, you can see he's raising his stakes here. He would have had an 80 cash on stage 2, which is insane if he were to lose this. But instead, he gets a 39 out of 40. 39 out of 40, which is very bad, right? Especially when you're going for an 80. You're going to get an 80 cash out. So this is obviously awful, very tilting situation. But see what Blood does over here. He just starts grabbing all the Executioners and just says, I'm Executioners, despite having a Heartsteel emblem, Heartsteel 5 chosen. Still in a great spot, actually. Sphinx is in an amazing spot. Obviously a little tilting, but I would love to be in Sphinx's spot right here. You can go for a, you don't even have to raise the stakes. You can get a amazing cash out here on stage 3, and then once you get your Ezreal, you can have a 7 Heartsteel game very easily, and very high chance of actually getting a first place here for Sphinx. But instead just decides to target grief. And then here is the board that Sphinx ended up playing. There's no way that from Sphinx's spot, this was the optimal thing. And there's no way a competent player who plays in a tournament, guys, I haven't played in over a week. I wouldn't do this play. Like, no one would do this play on purpose, like to make it the best play. Look, he's playing Heartsteel emblem, just pivoted in Executioners just to target grief Groxie. Now, Groxie needed like a first place in order to move on anyways, but that's neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter. It's Sphinx's decision to target grief on purpose. So more concerning is Sphinx's declaration, both in-game and Twitch stream, fully pivoted Executioners into Groxie's board just to contest him. So this was obviously just for that reason. So what should happen with this? This is a tough thing with competitive integrity in TFT, because TFT is a weird game, because when you're eliminated, you're forced to play. And so, like, what do we do about these situations? Like, I don't think Sphinx should be banned, because, like, what did he actually do that was wrong? Is any of these things against the rules? I don't think so. I don't think any of this against rules. Now, it is very poor sportsmanship, and you can dislike Sphinx because of it. And I've lost respect for Sphinx as a player because he let his emotions get to him, and he just, target inted somebody like in a professional tournament. That's fucked. But I don't think he should be banned or anything. He didn't explicitly break any rules. I don't think so. And this is the tough thing about competitive TFT. And you force people when they're eliminated to keep playing. But what can you do about it? You can't replace them. You can't replace them with AI. TFT is such a game where the game needs everyone else to be playing seriously for the game to feel good. Like if you play like a competitive League of Legends game, for example, it's a 1 versus 1 game, like team versus team, right? And, if, I don't know, T1 eliminates Cloud9, and then but they still have to play them, and T1 games it matters if T1 wins or not. It doesn't matter if Cloud9 wins or not. And then Cloud9 just intentionally throw the game, right? And that messes up everybody else's tournament. Not super great. Not intentionally throws the game, but just like has a fun game. Like, that's not super great for competitive integrity, right? But that just happens. That's just sports, that happens, whatever. But in TFT, it's so different that, like, when you start target griefing somebody else, you're only target griefing that person, and you're also making it easier for everyone else to win. So it like really crosses a big line of competitive integrity there. So this is weird. I'm not sure. I've seen some really bad takes on this. Like I've seen some takes where it's like, esports players are so soft. In traditional sports, people target int. In they like even when they're eliminated, they play their asses off to target int. There's a big difference to intentionally trying to get the other team eliminated, or like losing on purpose to get that team eliminated. There's a big difference between that and what traditional sports teams actually do, which is sometimes when their games don't matter, they'll still try their best to win and play their starters because they want to get good practice or whatever, or they want to help a player who's retiring get his last game or something like that, or they'll intentionally lose to tank for draft. They'll tank so they can get better draft picks, but it's about the intention. It's about the intention. A team like a basketball team, like let's say the Lakers wants to lose their game because they want to get a better draft pick, like so they play weaker players. They're not losing to grief the other team. They're losing so that they can get a better draft spot, and also they can rest their star players, and get them ready for next season. Why risk getting LeBron James injured if they're not going to make playoffs or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So like, there's like positive reasons to do those things. And I'll give an example because this is a take I've seen floating around a little bit. It's a bad take. People usually shit on these people, but for example, I could be misremembering some of these things, but Kobe Bryant's last game, their game didn't matter, but obviously they wanted to make Kobe's game really great. He scored 63 points. It was awesome, but it actually really mattered for the Jazz who were there playing. They were on the bubble between making playoffs and not making playoffs, or they were like in between, like going from 8 to 6 or something like that. Their game really mattered. And then the Lakers beat them, and it messed up Jazz postseason. I don't even know if they made playoffs that year. It messed up their postseason, but they didn't do that to grief them. They did that because they wanted to make Kobe's last game special. There's a big difference there. And so what has Sphinx said in response? He kind of has just said these things here. So I shouldn't have let my emotions get to me by contesting Groxie today, but Jesus, man, these personal attacks are getting for contesting someone in TFT. I top 4 too. Did he top 4 in that game? Wow. But he top 4 because his spot was insane. Like he had the Heartsteel spot and should have just played Heartsteel, but not the best response there because like, sheesh, I top 4 too. Like, that's fine, but we all know what you did. Like, it's fine. All right, so let's see what he actually said here. Hey, what I did wasn't okay, and if I get banned from a tournament or two, I wouldn't blame them due to my chat messages, making it obvious that I was in the wrong. That sentence is not that great, considering right here, he was like, hey, kind of lay off me, whatever. It's kind of not, the sentence is not great because he says, due to my chat messages, making it obvious. So it like kind of reads a little bit like, I'm caught, therefore I'm apologizing. But I'm gonna give Sphinx the benefit of the doubt that he's been working through this mentally. Okay. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or anything, but I had a shit tournament. I wanted to end the last game in a very high note with a really nice cash out. Groxie ruined it, so my mental was shot. Groxie didn't ruin shit. This is just TFT. He didn't do that on purpose. We were just playing TFT. Ruined it, so my mental was shot. Even more so, I just went and contested / griefed him. I honestly just want all the attention surrounding this to end. I just want to say I've been playing basically every set and tried to be a good player, but yesterday I fucked up. I still managed to top 4 though, which is good, but doesn't excuse my behavior for what I did on Krugs. That's all. But if I am permabanned, I'd be pretty upset. Then all personal messages towards me, just not having a good time altogether. So should Sphinx be banned? No, I don't think so. Maybe not allowed to compete in like the next tournament or something. Like maybe like banned for a season, like a set or something like that. But maybe. But did he actually break any rules? If he didn't actually break any rules, it's kind of hard to dish out any type of punishment like that. I don't know. This doesn't read super well because it kind of just reads kind of like I had a bad day and I fucked up, but y'all shouldn't be mad at me. My bad. Like. Yeah, I mean, nobody should be sending in personal attacks. Nobody should be doing that. But like, this is a situation where Sphinx, you kind of made your bed. You got to lay in it a little bit. Like, just understand that like you fucked up, you made a big mistake, and people are going to give you shit about it for a long time. And you just should not have fucking done that. And that was really stupid. And stop saying I still managed to top 4 though, because Everyone knows you griefed. Like, you don't need to dampen it by being like, hey, but I actually still top 4. Yeah, you top 4 because you started the game with 5 Heartsteel, motherfucker. Like, what are you talking about? Like, even if you didn't get your Raise and Say cash out, you still started the game with 5 Heartsteel. And you could, like, you had a first place position by playing your game, but instead you pivoted into a suboptimal situation to grief the other player. So, like, you should not say this sentence, I still managed to top 4. Anyways, all right, I'm done micro analyzing this situation, guys. Like, yeah, all right, my final take on this is, and I'll probably never make another video on this, is, yeah, this was fucked up. I lost a lot of respect for Sphinx as a player and just really as a person here, but I don't think he should be permabanned. I don't even know if he broke any rules explicitly. If he didn't break any rules, probably no punishment. But maybe what'll come from this is we'll have some explicit rules. If he didn't break any rules, and if he did break some rules, I would I would think maybe just banned from like the first 2 tournaments in next set, or maybe the whole set, maybe all of set 11 competitive or something like that. But I don't think he should be permed. This was fucked up. And I don't hate Sphinx. I don't think anybody should be sending him hateful messages. He's kind of owned up to it, but I don't know. Like, I just lost a lot of respect for this guy. But other than that, that's about it. Anyways, appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.